What's up, guys? It's your boys over here at Eastside Auto. We got a Kia Optima we're gonna go ahead and do a valve cover gasket on today. Just some basic maintenance. Customer came in last week complaining of a burning smell coming from their air vents when the air is on. We lifted up the hood and we found that the valve cover gasket was leaking down onto the block, and that would burn off, and in turn they would smell that when they're actually driving. So we're gonna go ahead and break it down for you guys how we do it, the best methods to do it, tools that you need. We're gonna knock it out. These are the new gaskets we're gonna be putting on, OEM gaskets. Always replace that GDI gasket that goes right under this high pressure fuel pump.
So we're working on a 19 Kia Optima. This job roughly takes what, 2 hours?
About 2 hours. Go ahead and take a look at make sure you have all your bolts out. So you can see clearly back here I got one. And I actually still got the ones in the middle. So it's never a bad idea just to take a second look before you're trying to move on to the next step. Make sure you got everything, make sure everything's clean and orderly. Keep all your bolts in a nice orderly fashion. This is the way I like to do it personally. I have everything in order to where they need to be and where they're gonna go back. Everybody has a different preference of how they like to arrange their bolts and when they're taking stuff apart, but this is just how I like to do it. Little trick I show people. This ear right here sits right above the valve cover, and sometimes it's hard to pull it above it. Go down a little bit so they can see. You can't pull it above it. So if you just loosen it up, wrench on there. Loosen up that ear. You can't put a socket on it because of the position of it. You got to use an open end wrench. You just loosen it up, get it kind of loose like that, and you can pull it back and pull the valve cover straight up and out. Don't ever turn your valve cover over above an open engine, because all that dirt and debris is going to fall straight down into the engine, and then you're going to have a problem.
So we have the valve cover itself, and this is the second valve cover, the little other gasket here.
That's the GDI gasket cover that goes under the valve cover. It separates that so you don't have a leak right around this area. I like to start with the middle. It lines it up very nicely so that you know that you're putting it in the right spot. Start right here. Just lay it down in each spot, press down. Not too hard, you're just pressing it into place. It'll fall into place, you'll feel it. I usually grab a rag. I go ahead and wipe the edges all the way around the top of the cylinder head. Just get all that dirt, debris, and old oil out of the way. Because when the customer comes back and pops their hood, you want them to look and notice that the job was done. You know you did the job, but you know, customers always want to see, they want to see something tangible. So I want to give them a clean surface so they can obviously see what was done. You want to get all this old RTV ripped off and gone. You take a small razor blade to that. I'm just gonna lay it down in the corner right here. Just like that. You don't need much, just a small amount. Too much can also be an issue. You just want a small amount, because all you're doing is laying the gasket on top of it. You already have a gasket, remember that. You're not using RTV to seal. The RTV is a fail-safe. Now you're ready to go ahead, flip your cover back over. You want to be mindful that you keep your gasket stays in its place, because if the gasket slips off or gets pinched in any way, you're going to have a problem when you go to start the vehicle. Just be very careful, take your time. Just get it back into a spot. Simple enough. And then you just want to do everything in reverse. And we're definitely going to time lapse this part just so you see. I mean, you already saw us take it apart, so we're just going to do everything we did when we were taking it apart in reverse and put it back together. Valve cover gasket or any type of oil leak job, you always want to check your oil and make sure that it's at a sufficient level, or else you're kind of defeating the purpose. You let your customer leave with the same amount of oil they came in with. You can come a little closer. The oil level for this Optima is right on the mark.
Why did it struggle to start up the first time?
When you first start it up, it's going to struggle just a little bit. It's going to be building fuel pressure because you have to take off that high pressure fuel pump. Once it builds fuel pressure, you'll hear it start up. And I usually cut it back off and I start it up again to hear it start up properly. Once you hear that start up properly, you can let it run, build up oil pressure, build up fuel pressure, and get warm. And just generally just look over your job, make sure everything's good, make sure everything's in place. Clean up, make sure that you're giving the customer back a good vehicle, something that's appealing to the eyes. There's not oil everywhere. This one isn't that bad, so we don't have too much cleanup to do. But overall, it's a really, really simple job. Take all of 30 minutes and you can get it in and out.